We welcome you to Grapevine Ford Field here on the campus of Grapevine Faith Christian School for tonight's matchup between your Grapevine Faith Lions and the Liberty Christian Warriors. Steve Anthony, alongside me, Mark Edwards, will be joining me here shortly. First, want to make sure we give you an opportunity to hear from Coach Holland. I had that sit down with him this week and bring that to you right now on the Bobby Holland Show. Always an honor to sit down with the head coach of Grapevine Faith on the Bobby Holland Show, and Coach will talk about the tough loss last Friday night against ESD. But first, just again, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for spending it with me.
You bet.
Well, not the result you're hoping for, 37-0 loss at ESD. But I know from my own life experiences that some of my best lessons are learned in some of those difficult moments and losses, and more so sometimes than wins. What were some of your takeaways from last Friday night?
Well, we like to get to the kids the idea that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. And when you go into a contest, you either win or you learn. We didn't get the result we wanted, but we did learn a lot from it. Maybe some areas where we were just good enough and had gotten away with it, and we learned when you play a really good team that good enough is not good enough. And so we've had a good week of practice coming off of that. Kids, after the game Friday, were motivated to get things right. They, to a man, said, we need to have a great week of practice. We need to get better. And you don't want to win. You don't want to lose. But if you do lose, that's the reaction as a coach you hope to hear from your players. So I was pleased to see their reaction.
Seemed like there were some challenges getting the ball in the hands of Ben Wagner, even trying to get Clayton out in the open field, which is where both of those guys shine, obviously. Was it a lack of execution on some things on the Faith end, or was it the size and maybe some things that ESD did that kind of created some of those challenges?
Well, no doubt they're a really good defense. It's the first time we've faced a four-man front. That was a good experience for us to get that on film and to figure out some solutions to it. Because Liberty's going to run a four-man front, so now we've seen that and kind of worked out some solutions for it. So that was a new challenge for us, and they had guys that were capable of covering Ben, and so hats off to them. They did a good job.
Sure.
And then once we fell behind and they knew we had to throw, they could become a little bit more conservative in their coverage.
You kind of double down on that, knowing that you were going to have to throw the ball.
Exactly.
Sure. Well, it seemed like that kind of all phases of the game are a little bit out of sync. When that happens, what's your message to the team? Obviously, there's the execution piece, but what's the discussion maybe in between quarters, at halftime, at timeouts to the team when you're really trying to get everybody back on the same page?
Right. Well, at halftime, I challenged the players to stick to our core values, which is faith, commitment, mental and physical toughness, enthusiasm, teamwork, and tradition. So I reminded them that there's been a lot of really great football players that have come through here and have fought tooth and nail every single down. And we need to go out and play for those guys. We need to carry on the tradition of playing hard and never saying die. And I told them, I don't care what the score is when the game's over. We're going to come back in this locker room and be proud of our effort. And we clearly have things that we need to go get better at and we need to improve at. It's game 3 of a 10-game season. We're in the phase where we must be getting better. In every single snap, no matter what the score is in week 3, we got to be getting better. And I was a little disappointed the game got called in the third quarter because those are snaps and that's experience that we need. And so I wanted to play the fourth quarter, but I get it with the Lightning. It's better for the safety of the players to head on home, and nobody wants to stay out till 1 a.m.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So it sounded like that. Just again, the weather was going to probably make it so late in the evening.
Yeah,
it was going to be challenging for everybody.
So we got together and said, hey, if it's at least 30 minutes before we're back on the field. If there's an additional delay, we'll call it a night. And in hindsight, that was the right decision because it would have the way things went down. It would have been delay after delay after delay. We wouldn't have been back on the field till 11:45 at night. And at that point, it's better for the players just to get in bed and get home.
No doubt.
It's a non-district game, so it doesn't impact the playoffs. We don't have to come back the next day and finish it. So it was probably the right decision, even though I was disappointed we didn't get to finish.
Sure. Well, I think the thing we need to remember here is you still have a very good football team here. You started 2-0. You had put up 105 points offensively against a good Brook Hill team and a good Woodlands Christian team. So, I mean, again, these are non-district games, and like you said, in the scheme of things, they do help you adjust and make adjustments with the game plan. But you still have a good football team here,
right?
No doubt.
Every game matters. We want to go out and win every game. But what really matters is excellence. I want the kids to understand that whether we're playing someone the world says is great or whether we're playing someone the world says is not so great, it shouldn't matter to us in our approach. We should be pursuing excellence. And I think if that's our mindset, that's going to lead to more consistent performance. And you don't get the ups and downs of, we get up for these guys, but we get down for these guys.
Right.
I want them to be more consistent.
Well, we're going to put last Friday night in the rearview mirror and talk about this Friday night against, again, another tough non-district opponent in Liberty Christian. I think they got an enrollment of about 10,000 or so. Well, I'm kidding, sort of. But they are a big school with some big talent. They recruited, I think, their quarterback from Flower Mound Marcus. So they've got, big guys on both sides of the ball, talent for sure. What are your thoughts headed into to this matchup this week?
They're a really good team. It'll be a great challenge, just like last week was. But our players have a good mindset. We have the idea, the mindset of we'll take on anybody, anywhere, anytime. We kind of got that going in June when it was 7-on-7, and all the seniors were away in Europe, and we're rolling out freshmen against seniors in 7-on-7, and they didn't back down. And so that kind of became our motto through the summer: anyone, anywhere, anytime, bar none. And that's how we feel about Liberty, and we know that it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough. Those guys are good, but we're up for the fight, and we're up for focusing on doing what we do and executing what we do.
I love it. Well, you've had some personal challenges over the last couple of weeks, and Coach, I will tell you, as not only broadcasting but also as a parent, I love that there's more than X's and O's to you and to your staff, and so I know you care deeply about the personal and the spiritual aspects of your players as well. What has your message been to the team over the last couple of weeks?
Well, the mission of our football program is, number one, to glorify Jesus Christ. And everybody wants to win. I want to win more than anybody. But when I stand before the Lord, He's not going to break out a record book and look at my win-loss record. He's going to want to know, how did I use my platform to serve the kingdom? Mm-hmm. And so that's been our message. We need to do things right. We need to stand up for what's right. We need to treat each other right. And we need to behave in a way that glorifies the Lord. And we need to play in such a way that our fans and our alumni are proud of what's on the field.
Yeah.
And I think the kids get it.
Yeah.
And I've been proud of their reaction to it. They've felt like it's next man up. There's no woe is me. There's no sitting around complaining. It's just, hey, what's next? What's the solution? And I've been proud of them for that.
That's great to hear. Well, I had a chance this week on our Stories of Faith to sit down with Senior Michael Offord and tell his story of faith. And I'm just been so impressed with that young man. I know he's not the loudest guy in the locker room. He kind of leads quietly, but he does lead. Talk about the influence of Michael Offord on this team.
Michael's awesome. What I love the most about him is his heart for the Lord. At our retreat this summer, I know he played guitar with you and led worship on Sunday morning, and that was personally really moving to me. For a big, strong dude to get up and sing in front of other teenagers, that takes a lot of courage. But I don't think it takes him much courage, just because his heart is for the Lord.
No doubt.
He loves Jesus Christ, and it's really special to see. I hope my sons grow up loving the Lord like he does. And he's a great leader. He leads quietly. He pulls guys aside. He has relationships with the younger players, and he has the credibility because they know this is a guy who always does things right. He's not for show. And so when he speaks, they listen. And that's really the best kind of leader, I think.
I agree. Well, I know it's easy to say, again, these non-district games are not life and death, but they do help you get ready for district. Any final thoughts headed into this week's game?
I'm excited. We've had a good week of practice. ESD and Liberty ran formations that our defense has never faced yet. So we have been able to build more of our defense. Our players, it's pushed them to expand their knowledge of defense and how to align. And so that's going to pay off in the long run. The more that we can see, the more that we can digest, the better that we're going to be. And I feel like it's the same on offense. We've seen different looks. We've now had to practice a different area of our offense and gained expertise at doing different things. And so, when you play challenging non-district games, you get better, and that's the goal. Obviously, to win is the goal,
sure,
but to pursue excellence is really my goal. Success is not necessarily winning on the scoreboard, because you can win a game and not have a successful night,
sure, if
you don't play to your fullest potential. You can lose a game and still have the right to say I was successful tonight because I gave everything I had, that's been our mission all along.
Well, I can tell you, we talk about on the Stories of Faith, we talk about the difference at Grapevine Faith Christian School, and I will tell you that personally, as I've gotten to know Coach Holland, he and his staff bring the very best of what Grapevine Faith Christian School is all about. So, Coach, again, I said earlier, I'm thankful that you're out here. You want to compete. You want to win. You want to train these guys and play excellent football and put a great, product on the field, if you will. But I also love your heart for the Lord, and I love your heart for the kids, and just so thankful that you're here and thankful that you're leading this group of young men, and my son included, but thankful collectively for all of your efforts, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's Coach Bobby Holland here on the Bobby Holland Show. Your Grapevine Faith Lions host the Liberty Christian Warriors coming up shortly here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network.
Blocking before the throw on that out pass, which Jack, I've heard him say several times, is not appropriate.
Brady Janisek on the reception there from well over 6'6", 210 quarterback. They bring in their kicker to Michael Stump to do the extra point here. We've got a sideline report. We had some technical issues with our stream. It got cut off, but we should be up and going. Checking with a couple of my folks here that are texting in.
Well, if the idea was to keep their time of possession down, we're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, old habits die hard, Mark. I apologize. Yeah, Mark, it's just the blocking on the outside was sufficient. Didn't quite see, again, where it was and if it was happening ahead of time. But, they've got to fix that, because that first play from scrimmage, Janisek ran about 65 yards from the first play of scrimmage, not what the Lions had dialed up for tonight.
Yeah, he never got touched.
One pass and he ran all the way down the sideline.
All right, so for those watching on YouTube, folks, recap real quick. Lions won the toss, took the opening kickoff. He's in as a cornerback here on the near sideline. So here are the Lions, 3rd down and 5 at their own 30-yard line. Here's a quick pass here again to Trickestead, same play. And he gets
based on that. I'm not sure what they saw that time, because it was one guy catching the ball and 4 guys to tackle him.
Ben Wagner back to kick. He's actually going to be a fake punt. He's going to bring it to the near sideline, and he has enough for the first down. Had to get to the 40, and he got just to the 40-yard line. So nice call there by the Lions.
Do what it takes.
So folks, trying to get the huddle camera back up and going. Their own 35-yard line. Snap back to Sebecki, looking to pass. He's going to keep it, runs up the middle, out over the 40, close to midfield.
First
Finally
down.
Him here, Tom Lane. And
we'll see if we can't have a return here. That's what, these kind of games like this, a return just changes the complete flow and mentality of everybody on the sideline. So we get one through here and
we got our huddle up. It's kind of in and out, folks. We're hoping the best of it here. 1:37 left here in the first quarter. Lions trailing 14-0. Lions kicked a field goal that was backed up 5 yards, and the Warriors blocked the subsequent kick. So the Lions now starting at their own 25.
Second 7. Middle.
Linebacker did a great job filling there. Cade Violi.
So here's second down. You gave him 3 on the play almost, out to the 28-yard line. Snap to Sabecki, keeps it. Looking to pass, but keeps it, tucks it. Out over the 30-yard line, so gain of about 3 on the play. So nice heads-up play there by Clayton.
Landing.
4, Derek, 3rd and 4. They're coming off the edges.
Yeah, he's was kind of slow to get up. He looks like he's fine.
And he's leaving early. That's
So,
why
we've had
as soon as he's facing anything, he's leaving the pocket.
Yeah, I think they figured out that we don't run a tight end,
What do you got?
and they just come right around the edge the whole time.
Joe.
false start here on the right tackle. So that's going to back up the Lions, unfortunately. Now they're going to talk it over. There may have been somebody in the neutral zone. We'll see what they call. Yeah, false start against the Lions. So that's going to back it up 5 yards and negate that nice run. I sure like 3rd and 4 a lot better than 3rd and 9 here, Mark, but it is what it is now.
Yeah, and that's just what the defender did come into the neutral zone, and he didn't snap it. So, I mean, it just drew our guy off false starting. You don't draw him off sides, you draw him false starting.
So it takes the ball back to the 26-yard line. 3rd down and 9. A bit, unfortunately, here. So gets the punt away. Janusek gets it midfield. Inside the 40, inside the 35. Finally taken down. Good tackle there by Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum. So that's going to do it for the quarter. There's a flag down on the play.
We got a holding, I believe. I believe we got one of the Liberty players for holding.
Let's get the play here. There's 2 flags down on the play. It looks like both officials had the same penalty, I would guess.
From the time they scored, we're grateful for the freshmen and sophomores that come in and play, but they're going to act like freshmen and sophomores in many cases, and especially when they get down in the game, they don't have it yet in their system to come over there and try to motivate everyone.
Yeah. Well, so we flip into the field. Now the Liberty Warriors are going towards the north end zone from our left to our right. Liberty Christian in their white jerseys, navy pants, navy numerals, and navy helmets. Red out tonight for the Lions in their all red uniforms and white helmets. Welliver trying a hard count, snap back. There's a handoff to number 5, takes it around the left side, cuts it back towards the middle of the field, then back again to the sideline. Finally taken down. There's a penalty flag that comes flying in. So we'll see what that is.
That was at the end of the play, so
yeah,
doesn't look like it was holding back there.
Back judge was throwing. Yeah, he's got it. He looked like he indicated a hold initially. Let's see what he got. Well, I'll tell you, Liberty plays aggressively. So here's the initial indication. See what the call is. Yep, that's a hold against Liberty, so that's going to back that up. So that's from the end of the run. So
yeah, I think that happened down there, downfield.
Mark, I'm going to let you take over for a second.
All right. Well, here we got 11:52 left in the second quarter. First down and 12. Liberty lines up that shotgun, single back. Long throw down the middle. It looks like it's going to be caught. by Quentin Brown. And that'd be about a 50-some-odd yard play. We had two guys covering him, and he just got behind them. And that was a good throw. Had plenty of time to rear back and get all he needed on that play, on that throw. So now they're here to Brady Janusik is holding, and the kick appears to be good. So that's 21-0. 11:30 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out some answers here, Mark. Again, the coverage is getting behind our cornerbacks and our safeties. And I don't know if that running game, obviously, if you run the ball well, it forces your secondary to come up, your linebackers to come up to support the run, and that opens up your running game. Your passing game. So we'll have to figure out what's going on there and see if they can't get
what little success we've had on defense. It's been when we've sent more than three guys after the quarter. That's what it takes. I mean, you got to see what they're doing, realize what kind of adjustments we can make. Hopefully we'll make some adjustments here and stop this spiral.
Well, we hopefully have the YouTube feed up and going here. I'm getting a couple of texts that it's going. So, so Liberty Warriors to kick off, leading 21-0. 11 minutes 30 seconds left here in the first half. That ball sails back out of the end zone.
Here we go, Derek. 1st and 10 from the 25, middle.
All right, so looks like we're
what you got?
Looks like we're starting out in the right in the middle. They're spotting it right in the middle. I thought they were going to go
to the far hash mark.
But they didn't. They went right.
Now the Lions are lined up. All of their line is over here on the far side.
We often see that on a field goal attempt.
Yeah. But it looks like Clayton Zabecki's going to reach down. He's going to snap it back to Rotella Kirschbaum, and that trick play did nothing. No gain on the play.
Well,
just a big front by the Warriors, man.
I've heard about that. I've seen that, but I've never seen that at Faith.
Well, I'll say this, Mark. I'm not critical of that. You're down 21-0, just starting the second quarter. You've got to come up with something.
Yeah.
And so
you're in the left hash, Derek.
All right, they're doing the same lineup now again. So we'll see if they run something different out of this.
Yeah. Looks like
Liberty's going to take a timeout. So worst case scenario, you make them burn a timeout. I'm not sure they're going to need it the way things are going here, but
well, I'm curious to see if they line up that way and then audible out of it.
Yep.
And readjust back over to the normal formation.
We did have a chance to talk to Corbin Irwin this week and was asking him kind of coming out of that, Mark, what that last game, kind of what his thoughts were. And here's what he had to say.
How do I turn mine up?
Yeah, so Corbin there just, again, reiterating the importance of a good practice this week. Apologies to our mixer listeners if you didn't hear that. Yeah, folks, like I said, if anything can go wrong, Murphy's Law is alive and well tonight. So the Lions, again, lined up with their line over here on the numbers.
Yeah, what do we call that formation?
I'm not sure. Nathan Triggerstead here is now Clayton Zabecki's in the backfield with the Michael Offord. And you would think that, it's a flip to the far side this time. And the Warriors sniffed that out. There is a penalty flag down. Looks like a face mask.
Face mask.
Another penalty on Liberty.
Well, that's one way to get 15.
Yep.
Okay. We have 3 people
First and 10, Derek.
over the ball. So there's 1 player on the far side of the field, and that's who they snapped it to, away from all the folks that they had lined up.
Yeah. Again, you're trying
on the left.
Yeah. So here come the Lions again with the same formation, bringing all of their line over here. Nathan Tregestead again. He snaps it back to Clayton Sebecki. He's looking to pass.
That's PI again.
And man down by the Lions, but no penalty flag on the play.
He hit him that time.
Nathan Tregestead was taken down, but no flag on the play.
One thing that does,
Here we go. Second and
it
10,
takes
Derek.
that
Second and 10.
rush from those defensive linemen away from Clayton Sebecki.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Right
Now
there.
here they come in a standard formation, 2nd down and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
What you got? Okay.
Michael Alford in the backfield with Clayton Sebecki. Moves over here to his left side. 2 receivers split to each side.
He's blitzing.
Warriors look like they're showing
Back
blitz. Pass here to the near side to Rotella Kirschbaum. Brings it to the near sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds.
Maybe 1.
Pushed out by number 19,
Third
Blake
and 9.
Warner.
3rd and 9, Derek.
So 3rd down, gain of 1 on that play. Gain of 1. So
Yeah, that was when he was lined up in the slot out there. Looks like that's same formation.
yep.
Double wide out.
Snap back to inside hand. Oh, it's keeper by Clayton
Nope.
on the right side. Cuts it back to the middle of the field. Gains about 2 on the play. So it's going to bring up 4th down.
4th
Yeah.
and 5.
We like to see Clayton break away around the edge, and he cannot get to that edge from right there. Has not been able to get to that edge, so he's cutting it back, and there's
What you got?
3 or 4 Liberty defenders right there to get him when he makes that cut.
4th and 6 for the Lions from their own 44-yard line. They need to get to midfield. They kept the offense on the field. Again, Lions trailing 21-0. 9 minutes, 44 seconds left here in the first half. Snap back to Clayton. Cuts it back up the middle. Tries to get around a couple of defenders and is finally taken down. Ball comes loose, but he was already down.
Defense.
So the Warriors will take over at the Lions' 47-yard line.
Yeah, they do get a tremendous rush with those 3 down linemen. That time they had 3 down linemen, and then they had 4 linebackers just waiting for Clayton to come out of the pocket. They didn't worry about coverage. They just stayed home right there 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and waited for Clayton.
Well, the Warriors start with good field position, but again, with lines down 21-0, Jack, you really have to use all 4 downs sometimes, some series when you're down this much this early in the game. So hard to falter from that. Man in motion, 22 cuts back. Snap back to Welliver. There's a handoff. Great penetration. Colin Abercrombie with the great penetration there. Gain of a couple on the play, but he stopped a big run there by Chase Garnett.
That was coming in right off, give them a little bit of their medicine. That was him just coming in from the edge and was able to get back there before the play really developed.
So here's the Warriors' 2nd down and 7, gain of 3 on the play. Another handoff to Garnett, takes it around the left side, cuts it back to the middle. Finally, ball is loose. The ball came loose, but the Warriors fell on it. Of course, wouldn't you know it? But that's enough for a 1st down. So we got past the yard to gain, the line to gain, and ball came loose, but Warriors recovered it, still past the line to gain, so results in a 1st down. Warriors quick to the line of scrimmage. Last tackle there by Corbin Irwin. There's a snap back to Welliver. Getting another handoff to Garnett. Takes it around the left side. Hit. Stays on his feet. Good hit there by Ben Wagner, but Garnett stayed on his feet. Stumbles forward for a gain of about 8 on the play.
Well, they've got that slot out there acting as a blocker and just sealing our linebackers.
Warriors coaches signaling in the play from the sidelines. Again, your line's trailing 21-0. 8 minutes left here in the first half. Warriors driving. Snap back to Welliver. Play action. Look into the end zone. Overthrown. Intended for Brady Janusek. And falls incomplete. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and 2.
That ball was well thrown. It's just needed a little bit more, about 4 or 5 more inches, and he would have been able to get to that ball. It wasn't overthrown that badly.
Freshman Cannon Hunter on the coverage. Janusek has probably a foot on Cannon, but Cannon out there giving great effort and good coverage on that play by Cannon. 3rd down and 2. There's a snapback. Hand off to Garnett. Takes it around the left side. He's got a couple of blockers. Cuts it back towards the middle of the field. Breaks a tackle. He goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a same play they'd run twice in a row earlier, but then this time he simply cut back against a grain, and we did not have the one side of the defense covering it.
Liberty Christian with a very, very deep roster. They've got an enrollment of I don't know how many now. I lose count. 10,000. Are they at 10,000 yet? Maybe not.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Not quite. I'm kidding, of course. But one of the large schools in TAPS. There's a snap back on the hold. The hold is good. Kick is good. And let's see. There is. Yep, kick is. I thought it was I saw a flag on the play, but not. 28-0. Your Warriors up. Encourage you to stick around for halftime for our Stories of Faith. Had the opportunity to visit with one of my favorite young men at Grapevine Faith, Senior Michael Offord, and he really just did a great job and talks about his experiences here at Faith. He's an Alpha Omega, which means he started Grapevine Faith as a kindergartner and will graduate all 13 years here at Grapevine Faith. So really amazing young man, incredibly talented, gifted guitarist. He's an amazing guitarist. And talks about his plans after graduation, gets a little bit about his family, and he gives his perspective on being a Grapevine Faith Lion. So, encourage you to stick around for that at halftime. Our Stories of Faith with Michael Offord.
Yeah,
Mark,
so here
go ahead.
Here we go. We got 7 minutes and 44 seconds left in the half.
And 30, I think you've only run one time.
And I'll tell you, I mean, the last series did look better than the first couple of series.
Yep.
So if we can just keep the penalties to a minimum, we'll be.
That will help dramatically.
That would have definitely helped a while ago when we took some points off the board.
There's a kick by Liberty. They kick it through the back of the end zone.
Oh, no, it Oh, wow.
Oh, it did? Oh,
yeah, it did.
It did. Yeah,
it hit at the one and was some backspin.
I looked to see there's been some little extracurricular activity in the middle of the field on those kickoffs. So I looked to see what was going on there, and I thought the ball was sailing through the end zone. But
yeah, that ball hit at the one with some backspin, bounced backwards, and then Ben was going to let it go. And it rolled on into the end zone, fortunately.
Lions take over 1st and 10 for their own 25. Very frustrated sideline as the guys come off on that kick coverage. And the offense was very frustrated last time as well, Mark. So I'd like to see them get some yards, sustain a drive here, eat some time off the clock, and control the ball, get some first downs.
Well,
snap back to Sebecki. Looking to pass down the far sideline, looking for Ben Wagner.
Oh, wow.
And it is picked off, intercepted by number 10. Still trying to bring him down. They finally do.
Defense.
Intercepted by Brady Janusek. He's been busy tonight.
Yeah, Clayton let go of that ball because he had to let go of the ball, but it was a lot sooner than I think he wanted to.
Yeah. Overthrown. He did not want to I think he was thinking, I don't want to underthrow it because Janusek had pretty good coverage, but Janusek's awful quick. So Warriors take over again with excellent field position at the Lions' 44-yard line, up 28-0. 7 minutes, 31 seconds left here in the first half.
Our defense just been out there a long time.
Yep, they're going to be tired. 2 receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side. Snap back to Welliver. Pass here on the near side. Caught by number 1. Brings it to the near sideline. Steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So gain of about 14 on the play, we'll call it.
Well, I'll have to say that Quentin Brown did an excellent job blocking our cornerback down the field there. He stayed with him until the receiver actually
Caught the ball.
caught up with him.
Michael Stump on the reception there for the Warriors. They come out with trips on the far side. 1 receiver here on the near side. Garnett in the backfield behind Welliver. Snap back to Welliver. Passes on the far side again to Janasek. Makes a move. Steps over one of our players. Finally taken down after a gain of 10. So that's first down. Moves the markers again. Clock running 7 minutes. 16 seconds left here in the first half. Warriors leading 28-0.
I'm gonna start guessing that they're gonna throw it to whatever side Quentin Brown's on, because he's an excellent blocker. Now he's back on the right. He's going from left to right.
2 receivers on the near side. Here's snap back to Welliver. Hand off to Garnett right up the middle. He's still dragging some Lions players with him. Still on his feet.
Holy mackerel.
And he is still on his feet. Finally taken down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that was a case of their line pushing the scrum.
Yeah. He got caught up, and the line came in behind him. They've got a huge offensive line. And
that was about a 9-yard scrum run.
Yeah, he got hit at about the 10 and ran it down to the 1-yard line. So your first and goal from the 1. Warriors leading 28-0. Clock running with 6 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the first half. Welliver looking to pass. Overthrows the intended receiver, intended for Jalen Hawkins. So the Cannon Hunter on the coverage. So Lions looking to come up with a big stop here and try to hold it to a field goal. Second down and goal from the 1. Snap back to Oliver, hand off to Garnett. He dives over the pile into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know that he had to do that, but
yeah, probably didn't have to.
I think he had a opening there in the middle.
Yeah, you've got a big offensive line, 77. Nate Humphrey is 6'4", 295. Your right guard is Keithan Smith, 6'4", 340 on that front. So just a big offensive line for the Warriors. Snap back on the extra point is good, hold is good, and the kick is good. And the Warriors take a 35-0 lead here with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left here in the first half.
Yeah, I'm not keeping the stats. I know Jack does a great job of keeping some extra numbers over here, but well, I can guess.
Yeah, I'd kind of at this point. I'm curious. I'm curious about the penalties against the Warriors. They've had a bunch. They had a bunch in that first quarter. Not as many here in the second quarter. And the few that the Lions have had have been costly. You know, took points off the board after the field goal because the subsequent attempt was blocked.
Yeah, we just have not found the right combination on offense.
No, they've tried a couple of different formations, some new things we've never seen before. And again, I don't fault them for that because they're trying to just change some things up, Mark. But and this Liberty Christian Warrior team is big and they're talented. They've drawn kids in. They had a couple of kids they brought in from Keller Central, Flower Mound Marcus. They recruit from kind of all over, and it's been tough sledding for the Lions.
Well, we have that's going to go right down to the 1.
Kickoff hits at the 1 and just barely goes out of bounds. So first and 10 for the Lions from their own 25-yard line. So we'll see what See what they dial up here.
Yeah, that was a good kick. It was about a yard and a half from going out just before it reached the pylon.
Yeah. So Sebecki in the backfield with
Standard
Alford.
formation.
Yep, typical formation here. Christian Corley, Rotella Kirschbaum here on the near side. Warriors that four-man front. Handoff to Alford up the middle. Plows forward for a couple. There is a flag down on the play. And probably going to have, I'm not sure what we're going to have there.
Nobody's calling.
Number 3 ended up on top of one of our linemen. I can't imagine it's an offensive hold. A chop block against Grapevine Faith.
Wow.
Stop.
Huh.
Who's cutting?
Okay, the official is running the opposite way. Well, they got to get this figured out.
He's backing us up.
Yeah, he went the wrong way. So that is a chop block against the
Yeah,
Lions.
give me a number.
So it's going to take the ball back. I don't know if that's a 10-yard penalty. If it is, it's back to the 15. Now it's half the distance, so we're going to take it back to probably the 13-yard line, I guess. Yep.
Yeah, it was unusual there was that wasn't the back judge. It was the
umpire.
the umpire
threw the flag.
And
yeah.
it was toward the end of the play.
Yep. Clock has stopped just right at 6 minutes left here in the first half. And they do move the ball back to the 10-yard line. The ball was on the 25, and that's supposed to be half the distance, Mark, so I'm confused on why they went back all the way to, well, I guess it's not inside the 10, so they get the full 15 yards. Well, now they are going to move it up to the 13, so confusion on the officials' part as well.
Well, that's math.
Again, Lions trailing 35-0 here. 6 minutes, clock running. 6 minutes left here in the first half. Backed up after that penalty. There's another penalty.
Again?
The right guard moved. So,
Well, I mean,
delay of game on the defense.
I guess that's they're trying to draw our players off.
Boy, the Warriors just can't fathom that they had a penalty called against them. Yeah, they are trying to draw us off sides.
Which, as if you stay out of the neutral zone, I thought you could pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they are showing blitz. Linebackers coming up. Snap back to Sebecki. Pass here on the near side.
There's an
Intercepted.
interception.
And I think that was a wrong route run.
Matthew doesn't even know the route.
Yeah, that was a wrong route there run, Mark. That was I think Matthew was supposed to cut on in. That was definitely not on Clayton.
Yeah, that was a. Clayton knew exactly where he wanted to throw that ball.
Zone here up 35 here shortly. So
Well,
they're not going to take their foot off the pedal. I can promise you that.
Take your pick. They might try to just continue running on the outside with.
Well, Garnett's been effective.
Garnett.
Yeah, I say Garnett's been effective on the outside. He's also been effective up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hard to stop. And Robinson last night was incredible. And Garnett's been equally effective tonight. Lions pass here on the near side.
I don't know that's, as you're getting tackled, that's something they should
Trip receivers on the far side, one on the near side.
keep doing.
Play action. Welliver looking to pass. Has a man wide open at the 10-yard line, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. So, well, some missed coverage there on the Lions. And as suspected, we mentioned the 35-point lead, not quite enough. So 41-0 right now. 5 minutes left in the first half. And the Warriors will try the extra point to try to go up 42.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if it was the
Kick is good.
bad coverage or whether someone made a mistake. I mean, sometimes you call the wrong defense, but whatever they did on the left side to clear that out, that left side was wide open. We didn't have anyone over there.
Yeah. Well, a very beleaguered Lions defensive front coming off their offense coming off the field earlier, and now the offense. Good grief, I'll get it right in a second. Yeah, just all around, man. They are frustrated. A couple of guys talking, trying to figure out some answers. But again, that last interception definitely not on Clayton. And again, I'm not sure what happened on the coverage there on that last series, on that play from Welliver.
Well, the last one on that interception, there's some routes where you're looking for someone to be getting open, and others that are just timed. And that was one of those where Clayton did not have to see whether he was open or not. He was going to throw it to a certain spot.
Right. Yeah, there was a
and we did not have we didn't have a receiver there.
Yep. So Clayton Sebecki and Ben Wagner deep for the Lions. Again, 4 minutes, 59 seconds left here in the. Waiting on the ball to be given to the kicker, Michael Stump. And he's teeing it up. Yeah, I'm not sure what your message is to your team at halftime, Mark, but got to make some adjustments. And at the end of the day, sometimes the other team's just better than you. They've got more talent, and but we got to start matching up better. I know this is definitely not what any of the Lions want or expect of themselves. There's Stump's kick that's going to also go out of the end zone.
First and 10, Derek, from the 25.
So 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Lions. No time off the clock. So 4 minutes, 59 seconds left here in the first half. Again, Lions trailing 42-0. Liberty Christian will be getting the kickoff to start the second half. So more bad news for the Lions.
We just want to see. I just want to see something here before the half. Something that they can
hang their hat on.
Yep.
Liberty Christian's going to. Well, they backed off. They looked like we're going to bring. There's a handoff to Michael Offord up the middle. Plows forward for a couple.
Second 9, Derek. Second 8.
We're not giving up on the middle.
Nope.
Definitely not giving up on the middle.
What you got?
They're showing 6 at the line.
Yeah, that 4-man front
and then they
really
back
causes
off.
Problems. Yeah, they'll bring a couple of the linebackers up. They've got that 4-man front. They'll bring a couple linebackers up. They've got 6-7 guys in the box at any one time. So they've been very effective against the run. They put a lot of pressure in the backfield against Sebecki. There's a snap back to Clayton. Keeper takes it around the right side, catches a couple of blocks, hit it about the 30-yard line, and stopped after a gain of about 3. So we'll call it 3rd and 5. Actually gets out to the 31. So 3rd and 4.
You could almost say run a screen, but those linebackers, when they don't stunt, they're just staying right there in their at home. So,
well, there's offsides against the Warriors.
That's a free play and interception.
It's I think one of the linebackers that was C.J. Witten was in the backfield, almost was touching Sebecki when the ball was snapped. So.
Yeah,
that should result in a first down for the Lions.
He didn't even try to. He knew he was offsides. He didn't even try to change. He just.
I'm back here. I might as well keep going. So first down as a result of that penalty against the Warriors. Maybe this is what the Lions need. A little shot in the arm here. So let's see what they can do. Clock running. It will resume here shortly. Actually, stop. 3 minutes, 46 seconds left. Here's Ben Wagner in motion. There's a flick to Ben, trying to get around the end, and there is absolutely no going on that. The Warriors had that sniffed out, and that is going to be a loss on the play of about 4 yards.
When you line up with 5 on the line and you double wideouts, there's only 2 players left of the ball to block and seal that outside. So their linebackers are having free reign on that play to the outside edge.
Second down and 14. Ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Clock running, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the first half. Again, Lions trailing 42-0.
And you'll notice they don't have a single safety deep.
There's a handoff to Alford. Goes around by the right tackle. Gains those few yards back from that loss on that last play. So third down and 10. Ball at the 36-yard line, excuse me.
Yeah, the way they're lining up, they're just saying, just try to beat us over our heads.
Yeah.
We'll give that to you because we think we can get to you sooner than you can get downfield but past us.
We are going to try to show you some of the cheerleading squad's routines before we go to the stories of faith. We'll see how much time they give us at halftime. There's a keeper by Clayton Sebecki, and he's taken down after a gain of about 1. So fourth down and 9.
Yeah, before that snap, they had 11 players inside of 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're swarming.
They're not putting anyone deep. They may now, but
inside of 2 minutes now with the clock running. Fourth down and 9. Ball at the 37-yard line. Offense still in the field. Again, with the Lions down 42-0, they're going to try to keep these drives going. They bring Michael Alford over kind of in the a tight end position, kind of a slot position, if you will. There's a man in motion. Clayton's going to keep the ball, but he is taken out. Flicks it to, the ball is loose.
Oh, my.
And the Warriors would have taken over regardless, but he flipped the ball to Trevor Williams, which I'm surprised was not a illegal forward pass since he's an offensive lineman. He touched the ball first, but yeah, very frustrated. Clayton Sebecki coming off the field here.
I tell you what, when they see our motion,
Blake, I'm going to come to you right at the end of the half, so hang on.
when they see our motion, they're stunting from the backside away from our motion.
Yep.
Because we know they I guess think we're going to run it to the side that we're running motion to every time.
Coach Ware down trying to calm Clayton down. He is a fierce competitor. You heard in one of our first interviews with Coach Holland. He's said that Clayton's the most intensive competitor he's ever coached. And Clayton obviously very frustrated. The entire team frustrated, obviously. So 42-0, a minute 30 left. See what the Warriors do here. Trip receivers on the left side. One receiver here, Janisek here on the near side with Garnett.
He ran right outside the tackle on the right side.
Is hurt?
It's very difficult, obviously, but this is not, the equations on this are pretty straightforward, and is that we're just not getting contained, and they're hitting their holes or getting blocks from their huge offensive line, and you're playing against a small college team size-wise.
Yeah, if we put people in the box, then they've got a quarterback that seems like they're going to be able to throw.
Point after is good for the Warriors. So they're at 49-0. 1 minute 22 left here in the first half.
But at this point, you'd almost say, hey, guess every play, stunt somewhere. You might get lucky.
Yeah. Now this is I can't remember a time that the Lions have been in this kind of position. A lot of frustrated Lions coming off the field. I think they're trying to do everything they can, and they don't have answers, Mark. I mean, it's just a much bigger team suited up on the other side of the field from them.
Yeah, and again, this is you got to give all the credit, a lot of credit to the freshmen and sophomores stepping up, but at times like this, you can't expect the freshmen and sophomores to start motivating everyone and picking up everyone up on the sidelines. They're still freshmen and sophomores, and we've got a lot of that. We've got a lot of those guys, which
a lot of young
bodes
guys.
well for the future. But tonight,
it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, the Lions have faced some personnel issues. Heard from Coach Holland. We talked a little bit about that in the Bobby Holland show in pregame. But you have to work through it. You got to figure out a way. So. Again, minute 22 left. Warriors leading 49-0.
7 plays. We started from the 25. We only made it to about the.
See what they do here on the kickoff. Kind of a pooch. It'll be Noah Smith at the 25-yard line, and he's hit. at about the 30-32.
And then
So Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
Well, I guess
First and 10.
I don't know that they've had that many first downs on offense.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they've not sustained drives. They've had long plays and keeps our
Yeah, they've thrown long touchdown passes
or
and,
make long
big
runs.
Yep.
And
Yep.
So I don't know that they've marched the ball down the field and kept our defense out there a lot. But
There's a handoff to Alford, and he's tackled after gain, actually a loss on the play, loss of 1 on the play. So again, folks, depending on how much halftime they give us, we will try to keep the cameras on the field to see the cheerleader and the drill team, dance team performances, and then make sure we have plenty of time to share our stories of faith this week with Michael Alford.
we might get our on-field camera down there to film the cheerleaders at halftime. And
There's Clayton on a keeper here on the
there we
left
go.
side. Cuts back to the outside, looking to pick up a block. Stiff arms a man. Finally taken out. Chased out of bounds. Number 43, Andrew Michaels on the stop. Stops the clock with 40 seconds left here in the first half.
3rd and 5.
Brings up 3rd and 5 for the Lions from their own 37-yard line.
3rd and 5, left hash.
They are doing an excellent job of trailing the play because every time Clayton tries to cut back,
40 seconds.
they've got several players trailing
Yep.
to stop him from doing that.
That little motion there by the. Yeah, I mean, future of this program, Mark, looks great. It's a false start by the Lions, so it'll back them up 5 yards. Yeah, it's going to be, again, when they're playing, I think within their district, I think we're going to bode very well. And like I talked to Coach Holland, this is still a very good football team. You're facing 2 non-district teams that are in a higher class in TAPS in different district. And so not making excuses, just, I mean, it is what it is. So,
Well, it'll hurt. It's how they bounce back and
Yep.
whether it affects the league play.
pass on the near side. Batella Kirschbaum trying to pick up a block. Stays in bounds. And clock continues to run. So 30 seconds left here in the first half. I would guess, Mark, I don't know if they're going to keep it or if they're going to try to kick it and force them to at least have to go a little farther. Offense stays on the field.
Well, they can let the half run out.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
23.
there's only 23 seconds on the play clock and 14 on the game clock.
Hold it.
So-
Tell them to.
We're going to go down to Blake here on the sideline here shortly. Again, 7 seconds left here.
They are running a play.
Yep. There's Clayton's forced out of the pocket, thrown, almost intercepted. Ball falls incomplete, and the half will end. So let's go down to the sideline to Blake. Blake, obviously very frustrated team down the sideline. What are you hearing down there on the sideline on the Lions?
Obviously, it hasn't been the Lions game so far, but we cannot pass how amazing our student section has been tonight. It's been unreal. Our cheerleaders and our student section have been unbelievably loud, and you can hear them from across the way. It's amazing, man.
Well, we definitely love hearing that. Thank you, Blake. We'll get back to Blake in the second half. Mark, I mean, again, not a ton of things to hang your hat on, but that I will say that was positive. You got great support. He said the student section is going nuts, and Coach Witten is down. He's up 49 points, and he's down talking to the officials, asking for something. I guess he's asking clarification. I guess he's trying to figure out why those offside calls were being made. He's asking about the
drawing them
offside. Yeah, that's what he's
or
asking about.
drawing them into a false start.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So we're going to stick around here. We do. It looks like we're going to have time for the performances from the cheerleaders and the dance team, and then we'll bring you the halftime. We'll definitely give you the halftime stories of faith with Michael Alford. So we'll be back here momentarily, and we're going to keep the cameras on again so you can see the performances. I'm not sure if Liberty Christian's going to. Yeah, they have a dance team that'll be coming. So hang tight, and we'll get to the stories of faith here shortly.
and Victoria Vito. The band shows the music of Earth and Wind and Fire. Today's selection includes Let's Groove, In the Sound, and September.
It's halftime of the Grapevine Faith Liberty Christian game. It's time for another great Stories of Faith. We get an opportunity to highlight the different stories and the families, students here at Grapevine Faith Christian School. And for the first time this season, we're highlighting a student. And this week, that's senior Michael Offord. So, Michael, great to sit down with you, man. I sure appreciate the time.
Thank you for inviting me.
You bet. So, Michael, your story is unique in a lot of ways, and we'll get into some of those. But one of those that sticks out is that you are an Alpha and Omega, and that is rare company, man. That means you started at Grapevine Faith in kindergarten. Your entire education has been here at Grapevine Faith. And tell us overall, what is your faith experience been like here at the school?
It's been pretty great. Obviously, I don't really know anything other than coming here to Faith, but yeah, it's starting out at kindergarten. I've known the same pretty much 80 people for my entire life. I don't know how many are Alpha Omega now. I think there's about 6, maybe 10, but definitely had really strong connections and great friends going through all throughout my 13th year at Faith now.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Well, you've got an older brother and an older sister. Your sister Hannah is no stranger here. They both went to Faith, and Hannah is one of the dance team choreographers, or the dance team choreographer, I guess I should say. So kind of just tell us a little bit about the Alford family. Tell us about your family.
Yep. So we all came to Faith my kindergarten year, my brother's 4th grade year, my sister's, I think, 8th grade year. She always was a big dancer, so we'd always have to go to her competitions every weekend. Me and Tommy
They drag you around?
Yeah, me and Tommy would get on our DSs and play Mario Kart. And then she was also a cheerleader here. And then Tommy, my older brother, he was in football. He's 4 years older than me, and he was a senior when I was in 8th grade, so he graduated. And I was a freshman, and I got to kind of see all of his underclassmen friends in football, and they knew who I was. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Your mom, Laura, your dad, Brent. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, good deal. Well, Student Leadership University, or SLU, is a really unique, amazing experience for Faith students. I know you've been on several SLU trips, being dragged along as a sibling, but also you've attended, obviously, as a student. So talk a little bit about SLU and what were your takeaways for some of those?
I'd say it's a really great trip, both for just like being with friends and having fun, and the leadership kind of conferences. First year, go down to San Antonio. It's kind of like the least kind of fun one. We still have a lot of fun with your friends, and you learn probably like 8 hours a day about leadership stuff. The next year is a little bit cooler. Coach Jackson takes you down to Washington, D.C., and you get to see all these sites, and you get to meet people, and it's cooler. And the last year, we didn't even have any leadership conferences, but we were in Europe, and each like person had to lead a day and lead the whole group. And so that was a lot of leadership in itself.
Wow,
yeah.
Kind of just getting thrown in there.
Yep.
It's amazing. Well, my introduction to you came through my son Jensen, who's a sophomore, and as last year as a freshman, you really impacted him and you mentored him on and off the field. And again, you played football here since 7th grade, and I'm sure new coach, new system coming in your senior year with Coach Holland and new staff. What's that been like, and what are your impressions so far?
Obviously, I was frustrated hearing that Coach left my incoming senior year, and it was really kind of difficult in the off season. We didn't have a coach for 4 months-ish. Had a few team leaders just trying to get everybody ready in the weight room, and there's a couple challenges there. But whenever he came in, I was a little skeptical, but I'm really excited now, and I don't think I could have asked for a better coach for this season.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to being an outstanding football player, Michael's also an incredibly gifted guitar player. I've seen it firsthand, and while I'm just strumming chords, this guy is picking and reading tabs, and just really, really cool. You play in the chapel band here at school.
Yes, sir.
Just that playing guitar, is that kind of an escape? Is it kind of, I know you write a lot of your own songs, and you like to cover songs. Is that kind of a therapy or an escape for you?
I'd say so, yeah. I think music's really kind of my passion. And so whatever I do when I grow up, I want to do something with music, whether that's teaching or anything. But yeah, I've played guitar and piano since 3rd grade, and something I'll probably take through the rest of my life.
Man, I hope you stick with it. That is something that you can teach your kids one day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that were you told, hey, Michael, you're going to start taking guitar lessons, or did you kind of just fall into it on your own?
My older brother actually played guitar, and so I kind of wanted to be like him, and then now it kind of developed over time to me just really loving it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you're very gifted at it, man. I want you to stick with it.
Thank you.
So, my hope here at Faith is that every student really has an abiding and inspiring relationship with Christ. Can you tell us about your faith journey and your relationship with Christ?
So I think a lot of Christian schools, some of the problems is like sometimes faith kind of gets watered down because you go through your whole life. A lot of Christian kids kind of have an easy life and don't really have any hardships to go through. So I didn't really have a relationship, I'd say, with God until my sophomore year. Went through some struggles and hardships, and I really kind of realized there's a lot more to being a Christian than just believing in Christ, something I had done since kindergarten. Like, I believed he was my savior, but really having that relationship and that obedience to God. And so that's really kind of my story of faith, is went through some hardships, and then I kind of had that realization that I need to have that relationship.
Man, that's unbelievably mature. And I'm with you, man. It's one thing to have that head knowledge and knowing who God is, but really trusting him as your savior every day and trying to walk that out every day, right? Especially amongst your peers. So there's challenges and struggles, for teens today that my generation never dealt with. And social media adds to that complication. I mean, it's a great tool in some ways. It's a challenge in others. What are some of the biggest challenges facing teens, in your opinion? And then how have you found successes in facing some of those challenges?
I'd honestly say that kind of social media is the biggest challenge. Although it's kind of a blessing to have instant access to whatever, and you have entertainment immediately, it has a lot of stress, I'd say, on the brain, and your dopamine. It's just kind of like, if you're on your phone all day and you're just kind of texting your friends, you think you're having fun, you think you're having those real relationships, then you get off and all of a sudden your brain just feels like garbage. And so I think it's really healthy to take a lot of time off from your phone and social media and just connect with your friends and kind of real life, even though it seems a lot more fun kind of looking down at your phone and playing video games and doing whatever. It's a lot more healthy to just kind of put it down and go hang out with them in real life.
Yeah. Some of those challenges, do those include like just the peer pressures of trying to fit in with certain groups and trying to look a certain way? Do you those challenges with that as well?
Definitely with social media, you see, like, just for instance, like if you're lifting, you think that you're doing all right, and then you go on social media and you see someone that's a year younger than you with 20 more pounds of muscle, and you're just kind of like, dang, like, why don't I look like this? And then that's obviously difficult, trying to fit in and trying to find stuff. But yeah.
So I think a lot of people think, well, that's just a girl thing, and it sounds like even guys face the same challenges, right? So wow. Well, I mentioned it's your senior year. I know you can't encompass your entire faith journey in a few sentences, but if you had to think back on one, maybe two of your fondest memories here at Faith, what comes to mind?
I'd say when I was little, like in elementary school, going to the football games and just kind of playing, and watching them and playing with my friends around them, and just in high school, just the little moments, not even playing football, like the little moments in the locker room or having an upperclassman and take me to lunch or just anything like that. I'd say those are definitely some of my fondest memories.
That's great. That's all about the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you graduate. I mean, graduation, May's going to be here before you know it, man. What are your plans after graduation?
I really want to go to A&M, go into construction science.
Okay.
That's the goal. Yep.
And still keep playing guitar.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
good. Well, Mike, you bring such a unique perspective, having been at Faith for so long, for your entire education. If there's a prospective family watching this, and they're thinking about a private Christian school for their family, what would you say to them?
I'd say definitely have your kid come here, because there's just the relationships itself are what stands the school out from every other school. I have relationships, obviously, with your son. That's a couple years lower, but with upperclassmen, with people, especially in my grade, that I've been with for 13 years, and even teachers and mentors. I have so many just great relationships that you can't really get at bigger schools.
So it's, again, back to those relationships, the keys in that.
Nope.
It's awesome. Well, I know you've got memories and relationships with your teachers as well that I know are very, very important. I hear that over and over from students as well. So, well, Michael, I'm just going to tell you, man, I'm so impressed with the man that you are and becoming the man you're becoming, and the kind of leadership that you exhibit on and off the field. I know you're not perfect, but man, you're a great example of what Christ, I think, living out that Christian life and Christian faith as a high school student. And I know that there's challenges with that, even at a private Christian school. But man, I just can't thank you enough for sitting down with me. It's really been an honor for me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, glad to have you. That's Grapevine Faith senior Michael Lawford here on the Stories of Faith. Second half of your Grapevine Faith Lions against the Liberty Christian Warriors is coming up next, right here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. back here on the air. Steve Anthony alongside Mark Edwards. And, Mark, not the first half that the Lions dialed up. I think we're looking at the best team in the state across the field over there in Liberty Christian. I think that's hard to argue that. But the Lions going to come out, talk to Coach Musig, who's up here in the booth, calling plays down to the sideline. And he just said, man, we got to keep grinding. That's all you can do. So Lions are going to line up, and we're going to give it everything we got, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity for every player on the field to just say, okay, how am I going to play this next play?
Right.
What am I going to do? Am I going to still put forth 100% effort, or am I going to give up? And I've never seen a Faith team have players on there that opt for the just, hey, I'm going to give up.
Yep. Well, you figure at some point we'll start to see some of Liberty's second string. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they may keep their starting lineup in. We did get clarification from one of the officials that came up during halftime. The signal that we could not figure out, where they it's a personal foul call and they bring both fists up to their chest, kind of their sternum. That is a blindside block. That's a new signal for blindside block. And on that last series, when the when the Lions turned the ball over, that it was an illegal touching because Clayton threw the ball and Trevor Williams, the center, who's not an eligible receiver, was the first to touch the ball. So, but since they didn't enforce it since the ball was turned over on a fumble, essentially is what ended up happening. So,
yeah, and there's one other time when they called a penalty on Liberty. It was because they were calling out a count.
Yeah,
on defense.
Yeah, we got that the Liberty defense was calling out the snap counts pretty regularly. Which you can't do. So again, I'd love to see the penalties in the first half for each team. So here's Josh Horroy to kick off. Robinson back deep, and there's a onside kick. Kicks up.
Yes,
and they do recover it. Noah Smith on the recovery. So they come out with an onside kick. Took a great bounce over the head of the. Up back, and Noah Smith runs underneath it and is tackled, so the Lions will take over. 1st and 10.
I mean, that is exactly – you had those front line on the receiving team sitting there waiting for that ball to come to them, and they had to have an opportunity. It hopped right over their head, and we were there to catch it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, when you're down 49-0, any little thing like that will help.
Stop the spiral.
You need something. If you're a Liberty Christian fan right now, you're going, big whoop, we're still winning by 49. We get it. But when you're down 49, you're looking for any little shot in the arm just to get some there's Walker Little on a handoff, drives forward, takes a couple of guys with him. So nice run of 2. So brings up 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 40-yard line. Again, the Lions kicked off here to start the second half, and they recover the onside kick. Just trying to show some life, and as Coach Music said when he came up to the booth, he said, man, we're going to keep grinding. That's all we can do. So put their head down and keep going. So you see a little excitement, a little energy here on the sideline for the Faith Lions, which you got to love that.
Yeah, there they go again. Dang it.
Now, again, we're going to see if they were calling. We're going to see if they're calling the snap count again.
No, I think they're just moving laterally.
Yep, they're calling it's a false start against the Lions.
Yeah, they're moving laterally. They're not moving into the end zone or into the neutral zone. They're just moving laterally, jerking, though, moving really fast. And
yeah, I see the lateral side, but I do see them look like they were. Again, we can't hear, so I can't even. I'm completely speculating, but all right, ball moved back to the 45-yard line, 2nd down and 13 for the Lions. There's a Becky pass to the far side, complete to Noah Smith, still on his feet, driving forward. Forward progress brings him back to the original line of scrimmage here. So going to bring up 3rd down and 10, ball at the 43-yard line. Lions trying to thank you. Appreciate our amazing staff here at Faith bringing us some food up here to the Booth always take great care of us here at Grapevine Ford Field. So 3rd down and 10 for the Lions. 2 receivers split to each side. Walker a little blocking for Clayton Sebecki, intended for Christian Corley. Ball falls incomplete. He was hit right as the ball hit him. So the ball falls incomplete. Well, I'll tell you, Mark, it's just tough getting anything going against this defense, man. Big school, big players, recruit from all over, and there's a really good football team.
They are. And, the 4-man front that they're playing, and then they bring a linebacker up when they don't feel like they have to protect.
Here's Clayton Sebecki across the middle.
We go.
Complete to Ryan Trigestad down at the 30-yard line. That's going to bring up a first down. So
You're on the 30, Derek. Middle.
all right, so first down and 10. Great pass there, passing catch from Clayton Sebecki to Nathan Trigestad. So 1st and 10 for the Lions at the Warrior 30-yard line. And they bring in a lot of people. There's a pass across the middle, broken up.
That was
Jet Hare on the defensive play there to knock the ball down. Boy, they just lined up, put pin in the ears back, Mark, and they were coming at Sebecki. He had to get rid of that football quickly.
Yeah. Well, at that point, try a middle screen, something. Just,
Yeah, that's true. If they're bringing the house, try a little screen. Here again, they show blitz, they back off.
There it goes again.
There's another false start.
Is that Joe?
Yeah, they're reacting to our defense.
Tristan.
Frustration there. So that's going to back it up. 2nd down and 15 now. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. See what the Lions have dialed up here. 2nd down and 15. Snap back. Clayton keeps it. Breaks around the left side. Picks up a block. Cuts back inside. Still on his feet. Inside the 20. Inside the 15. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
There we go. That's
what you want to see. There is a flag down on the play.
Back there.
See what the call is.
I've got a sneaky suspicion that's not on the defense.
Now we'll see what the Yep, it looks like they're about to walk this off against the Lions. It is unbelievable. When they finally break a big play, we get a penalty.
I've lost the white hat. Where'd the white hat go?
He's right there at the 41, so he's trying to talk to the Liberty Christian sideline. Obviously, they're going to accept that penalty because that was a big run by Clayton on 2nd down. But just unbelievable the timing of these penalties. I'm guessing that's a hold. Yep, a hold against the Lions. So that will back them up to the 45-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 25.
Yeah, they're just doing all they can to stop that defensive line from getting through there, and you're going to get caught doing that.
Yep. Well, and here the Lions or the Warriors show blitz. They've got a couple of guys up in the box. Like you said, there's 6 guys against our 5. They do bring one. Pass here to the near side of Trigestad, trying to pick up a block from Ben, and he does. So gain of about 5 on the play. Nice block on the outside by Ben Wagner to free up Nathan for a couple extra yards there, Mark.
Yeah, it's
20. 3rd and 20.
That's I think they're just looking to break one, but
Right hash.
if they're going to break one, it seems like they do it over because they don't have, like I said, anyone outside of 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
At the start of the play. Well, they do now. The long play, it's a 3rd down like it is, 3rd and 20.
Ben Wagner and Christian Corley switch sides. You got Christian and Nathan Trigestad here on the near side. Noah Smith and Ben Wagner on the far side. Looking to pass. Chased out of the pocket. Clayton's inside the 40, inside the 35. Still on his feet inside the 20. Cuts it back. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. So that's enough for a first down.
Nope.
Great run by Clayton Sebecki.
That was, and
First down.
Of course, Jalen Hawkins
1st and 10.
was there to stop him from going on into the end zone.
But again, just a shot in the arm that the Lions needed. Again, big play there. No penalty on that run. So I know Clayton, after 2 big runs there, is glad to keep that one, keep the drive going. Clock running. 5 minutes now left in the third quarter. With this size lead, they will keep the clock running. Again, the Warriors leading 49-0. But the Lions threatening to score here. Inside handoff to Walker Little.
That's a face mask.
Takes a couple of guys with him. Yep, they're indicating face mask.
Oh,
but
they
nothing,
are?
No, the coaches, but nothing called.
Our coaches don't have flags, do they?
No, they don't.
If they give them some flags, we might have
we can figure this out, right?
Yeah.
Well, you really give credit here to the Lions against this very, very difficult Warriors defense, man. They're showing a lot of heart. Overcame a big holding penalty after a big run by Clayton Sebecki, and he followed that up with a big run for a first down. Second down, ball at the 12-yard line. Snap back. Kind of a weird play. There's a penalty flag down. And another false start against the Lions. Boy, they've got to figure this out. I'm not sure what's going on there. The offensive line is talking. And they just, again, I don't know if it's the movement or what they're doing. Trevor Williams is talking to the official, so I have to guess that the Warriors are doing that snap count again, Mark. We've not seen this from the Lions in any of their first 3 games. And, yeah, Trevor's talking to the official saying, yeah, they can't do that. They can't
call out a hut.
They can't call the signals, which is which again, the official said that's what they were doing. So,
well, to talk about while during this timeout, I mean, there was I guess this is television timeout. Just Clayton on that long run a while ago. Even he got hit right in the sternum. Jalen Hawkins put his helmet right in his sternum, and you could just sense that Clayton was not going to go down. He didn't. Even as they went out of bounds, he's like, I'm staying up. You're not getting me down. And he put a good lick on him, and you just don't want to see Clayton get hurt on something like that.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was just going to put as much into Jalen Hawkins as Jalen was trying to put it in.
They're not going to give up the fight here. They're going to keep battling, keep grinding, and see what they can accomplish here in this drive. 3 minutes, 44 seconds left here in the third quarter. Lions second down and 12. Ball spotted at the Warriors' 17-yard line. And that ball backed up 5 yards after that false start penalty. And again, there's been 4 or 5. Again, we've not seen that. We've seen 1 or 2 in the first few games complete total, Mark.
Yeah.
And we've had several in this game, and definitely starting the first part of the second half here. Snap back to Clayton Sebecki, rolls to his right. He's got pressure, steps around a player, escapes a tackle, still on his feet, trying to cut it to the outside. He's given chase and knocked down at about the no gain on the play, looks like.
Yeah, that was he had to run all the way back across the field, and Blake Werner had him, he was not out of position and got a good angle on Clayton, and a good angle will beat speed.
Yep. Coach Stricker down there in the ear of that line line judge, there's something going on he does not like, and Coach Holland had to send him back down. So I'm not sure. There's something going there on the field that the Lions aren't liking. 10 seconds left on the play clock. They're trying to get the play in, see if they can get it off. 7 left. Inside of 5 seconds. They do get the snap off. Clayton rolls to his right. Pass intended, thrown behind Ben Wagner. Falls incomplete. So it's going to bring up 4th down and 12. They just can't. I mean, trying to follow up 2 plays in a row, Mark, where they have positive yardage, and just again a challenge. Again, big defensive front, and like we said, man, I take nothing away from Liberty Christian. They're probably the best team that I've seen. They're going to go for the field goal here.
Well, I'm gonna try to see Cedar Hill and Duncanville play.
Gotta hurry up.
Tomorrow?
In a few weeks. Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. I think it's a couple of weeks. And I don't know that this team couldn't compete in that big public.
I would
scenario.
Every bit of it. I mean, they pulled players in from public schools. I think they absolutely could stand up to some of those teams. Well, the Lions have to call a timeout. Play clock was running out. They're going to try a field goal. Ball is spotted at the 17-yard line, so about a 32-yard attempt. Excuse me. Yeah, should be about a 32-yard attempt. But
well, maybe we can keep this field goal on the board. We had that field goal earlier and had the penalty called and had to kick it again, and then it ended up being blocked. But maybe we can get this one off. He can kick a 50-yard field goal.
oh, no question. Yeah.
I mean, he's got the leg.
Got the leg. Mark, I did get confirmation from one of the coaches that the Liberty Christian defense continues to call out the snap count. They've been doing it the entire game, and that's I'm going to say that's – I can't say that every single false start is due to that, but a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've never seen that
well
go over.
I got to say this, Mark, for the first time, number 62, Jensen Anthony, out to snap the ball for the extra point here. So
okay, all right.
Glad to see him getting some playing. He's been wanting to get in, and hopefully – does his job here. Snap is down. Kick is up.
Nice.
And it is through. Great kick.
And no flags.
No flags on the play.
All right.
So that will stand. So the Lions get on the scoreboard.
I was so afraid you just jinxed your son.
Oh, man.
I was so afraid.
He couldn't hear me. He couldn't hear me.
Well, no, he couldn't, but I'm telling you, that's he can have a – I've heard announcers do it too many times.
Well,
free throws and everything else.
I know it, but
yes.
Well, yeah. Again, Mark. Like I said, if you're a Liberty Christian Warrior fan, you're going big whoop. You got a field goal. But I'm telling you, folks, when you're on the receiving end of this kind of a beating, every little thing like that matters and it counts. You've got young men on the field that are down there trying to do their very best and contribute. And again, this is their much bigger, much faster, much better football team without question.
Yeah.
So
15 more of those, and we'll just be down by one. So we kick it over the defense. They've got the clock running.
Yeah, clock's going to run up 49. They're going to keep it runs the entire time.
That's right.
Yeah, so the official is having them switch ends of the field. There were a couple of Liberty Christian players that were trying to listen in on or act like they were listening in. So to the huddle for the special teams, but they're going to switch ends of the field. And we talked about this in the Bobby Holland show. If you caught the Bobby Holland show before the game, talked about the fact that you've got, in these losses, you're trying to take some positives away. It's a learning experience. ESD, Liberty Christian, much bigger schools, obviously. Much bigger enrollment. I mean, they've got way more kids on their rosters. I mean, it's just a bigger, better football team. I just call it what it is. But Coach Holland talked about the fact that they are trying to draw some positives, and sometimes you do draw positives. I mean,
it's bad enough to have to bounce back from a loss like last week.
Yeah.
And have two in a row, and now you've got to just say, okay, one play at a time, and just see what every player has to ask himself, what am I going to do on this play?
Yeah. So the Lions looking to see here what they're going to do, another onside kick, or if they're going to kick it off. The Warriors are expecting an onside kick, and we'll see what the Lions do here.
Oh my!
And it is kick does not go the full 10 yards, so that's going to be a penalty. They tried to do a little bit of chirping down there by a couple of Warriors players. Now, last year, if you recall, Mark, at Liberty, game got a little chippy towards the end, and they had to pull both coaches together and kind of settle things down. So I'm hoping we don't ever get to that point, obviously.
I agree. I mean, I don't know that it'll really get to that point here. You would think that Liberty, being guests, would not act like they did when they were at home.
Well, but hope not. But they also are calling snap counts and been doing it throughout the first half. So we'll see if that, again, officials called it. I think they called it once.
At the end of the half.
Yeah, but it's been pretty consistent here. So just see what happens. 49-3, 11 minutes, 15 seconds, clock running here in the game.
I don't recall ever seeing a game where that was a problem more than just once.
Yeah,
twice.
Yeah, they do it once and then they shut down. But again,
but there's no way to combat that. You've got to go off a sound, and that's what they're doing.
Right. Yep. So, we can confirm it from the coaches, and you saw the players talking. There's a snapback handoff to Garnett, takes it around the left side, big hole out over inside the 40, down close to the 30-yard line. That's about a 13-yard gain, so that will move the chains. Clock
good tackle there by Jake Ford.
Yep. Jake coming in on the stop there.
But he was the only one.
Yep.
And they're just doing a good job of sealing off that edge.
No, they're just double teaming him.
Snap back to Welliver. Pass here to the near side. Have a flanker screen.
Oh, my.
Yep. Good hold there, or block, I should say. And they missed that. So, big run there. Pass and catch. Enough for a first down. Yeah, Colin Abercrombie was wrapped up. Had his hand up all the way up in his jersey. And officials didn't see it. So, play continues.
Nathan had him. I saw him zeroing in on it. He saw that play, just overran the tackle.
So first down for the Warriors. Pass to the far sideline. Taken down inside. There's a penalty flag down. Corbin Irwin is shaking his head and throwing his hands up like, I have no idea what's going on. See what the penalty is. Ineligible man downfield by the Warriors.
Yeah.
So that'll back them up, I believe, 10 yards.
That's often an act of aggression. I mean, they're just they're getting downfield, wanting to block, and.
Well, again, I don't
fault people for hard play.
Sure.
And
that's not. There was nothing. It's not like calling the snap counts. That's just football. 5-yard penalty there brings up first down and 15 for the Warriors. And clock running, 8.5 minutes left here in the game. Warriors leading 49-3.
Have a new
running back
back
trying
there.
to get who that is.
Tanner
Casabon,
yeah.
Pass to the far side, complete. Say somebody cuts back, headed towards the end zone, and the Warriors in for another score. Yeah, 49-3, and still throwing the football. So that's, again, you're gonna have to try to defend that because you're gonna see more of that.
Yeah, Nathan Triggerstad had him out there again, and then he just overran the tackle.
Yep. So 55-3, 7 minutes, 50 seconds. Clock continues to run, and the Warriors looking to add to their lead here. Michael Stump to attempt the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good as well. So 56-3. Clock running just over 7 minutes. I will say this, Mark. Definitely some positives from the second half over some stuff in the first half. I mean, again, you see some fight still going. Yeah, they put points on the board, but you see some fight and you see some energy back in this Lions team.
Well, and it's each player getting out there and doing what they're supposed to do, and not looking at that scoreboard and hanging your head.
We're going to try to go down to Blake on the sideline and see Michael Offord on the table. Blake, do you have any updates there? Or the injury to Michael Offord?
Yeah, it appears Michael has maybe broken his foot. He's being evaluated right now by Coach Ashley, but it isn't looking too good so far, but it'll be okay.
Well, that is awful, awful news for the Lions. Thank you, Blake. That is terrible, terrible news for the Lions. So Michael's got, doggone it, he's got his shoes off, his cleats off, and that is, man, not where they wanted to be, losing a player like Michael Offord. So kick by the Warriors goes through the touchback, goes through the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, he didn't come out at halftime with that.
No,
Must
that
happened
happened
after
this
halftime.
Yeah. So possible broken foot for Michael Offord, which, and we're going to pray that's not the case. Hopefully it's just a sprain or something like that. Doggone it. So the Lions will start 1st and 10 for their own 25-yard line. Austin Cosby coming in the game at quarterback. So I believe that's Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum back as the running back. So legal substitution against the Warriors. So 1st and 5 for the Lions. See if they can get a playoff here by just the quarterback calling the snap count, and not the defensive line. Snap back to Cosby, loses the football.
We covered it.
Rotella Kirschbaum falls on it.
Second 10.
Maybe a little nerves there at that play. So loss of no gain on the play. No, or loss of 5 after that. So they had that 5-yard penalty, and that's taken back.
Now 2nd and
5
10.
yards. So 2nd and 10 after that play. Trying to get the play signal in. Snap back to Cosby. Hand off to Rotella Kirschbaum. He's tackled for no gain.
As soon as we came off that play and changed that play, the defense completely shifted. They knew exactly where we were going.
Yep.
It's almost like they read our numbers over here on this board thing that we
I
use.
guess.
Because they did. They shifted the entire line defensively after we called the audible.
We talked about this in the pregame with Coach Holland. This team scored 105 points in their first 2 games against a good Brook Hill team and a very good Woodlands Christian team. So nothing to hang their head about. And they're going to be frustrated tonight, but you're probably playing the best football team in the state of Texas right now. Snap back to Cosby. Another handoff to Rotella Kirschbaum. Takes it up the middle. Trudges forward for a gain of about 3 on the play.
4th and 6.
4th down and 6, Mark. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the game. Offense stays on the field.
And same formation. That's one thing a defense doesn't have to worry about is adjusting to our formations.
Yep, we've lined up pretty standard with 2 receivers on each side. We'll run different plays out of that, obviously. Clayton Sebecki again out of the game. Ben Wagner out of the game as well. So they're, and again, Michael Offord praying that he's okay. He's down the trainer's bench, and doggone it, man, you hate seeing that. So timeout by the Lions. We're going to go back down to Blake on the sideline. Blake, you mentioned earlier the student section really showed up tonight big, and despite this loss, they've kept a lot of energy going. What have you seen down there?
Nobody is left. I mean, absolutely nobody. They are having the same energy they had at the start of the game, and it's honestly amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of the student sections down on the field. There's a student section, the stands, but as Blake mentioned, nobody has left, and so it's great to see the support from the student section tonight.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just going to get bigger from here.
We're back out there with.
It's just going to get better from here, man.
Looks like we're going to punt the ball.
Well, we appreciate Blake on the sideline tonight. We are going to punt the ball here, and Ben Wagner gets the kick away. Ball lands at about the 42-yard line, fielded by the Warriors.
Oh, my goodness.
Keeps it on the sideline, brings it back to the middle of the field. He does fall out of there is a penalty flag. There's a penalty flag down. See what's
I think they called
here.
him out of bounds, stepped out of bounds, and then there was a penalty also.
Yeah, penalty back around where the receiver fielded the ball. There was a block back here, and I'm not sure if there was something illegal about that or what, but Jet Goforth down there on the coverage. We'll get the signal from the official here and see what's going on. The penalty is going to be against the Warriors, it looks like. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Warriors. A lot of penalties tonight on the Warriors, Mark.
Well, unsportsmanlike conduct's a relative call. We're lucky we got that.
Yeah, right. So must have said or done something that they didn't like. So here's the his new quarterback in for the handoff here on the near side.
Oh,
chase back, big defensive stand there. So nice play there by the Lions. Looks like they've got their second string in.
That's it.
Much smaller team, Mark, for sure.
Tyson Castlebaum.
1 minute left here in the game. Warriors leading 56-3. Appreciate Coach Music being up in the box with us tonight, giving us some insight. There's a handoff here on the right side. Corbin Irwin giving chase. Finally brings him down. Good play by Corbin Irwin coming from the other side of the field. Clock continues to run. Corbin Irwin again on a great stop. 30 seconds left here in the game. And the Warriors' second string trying to put a couple of plays together here. Probably this probably would be the last play of the game, Mark, I would guess. Handoff here up the middle to Robinson. Brought down after a gain of about 4 or 5. 15 seconds left here, and you would think that would be the game. Yeah, the Warriors at least are lining up at midfield, and that is going to do it here. So, well, Mark, definitely a much better second half for the Lions. Again, they only put 3 points on the board, but I thought they showed a lot more fight, and they hung in there. And it's tough, again, on a game like this. It's tough to have some real positive takeaways when you lose, 56-3.
They'll have to look hard, but it's just like any other thing in sports. It's this game is done. It's finished. It's over.
Yep.
And these freshmen and sophomores, along with the juniors and seniors, obviously, but there's so many of them. It's going to be an experience that they're not going to forget the 3 or 4 years they've got left here.
Yeah. Well, again, when we say that this is probably the best team in the state, we are not exaggerating just because they put up 56 on you. They are big. They are strong. Man, they're deep. That's a really, really good football team. So, that's a tough loss for the Lions. But we're going to.
It was not unexpected coming into these last 2 games.
No, not at all. Not at all. That was we saw that coming. We didn't really know what the score was going to end up being, but that's a really good football team, and you definitely know what's coming. So the Lions continue. Have one more non-district game next week against Fort Worth Christian. We'll be at Fort Worth Christian for that game, 7 o'clock kick, and that'll be followed by a bye week the following week, the week of the 29th. But next Friday night, 7 p.m. at Fort Worth Christian. Your Lions taking on the Cardinals. So, well, Mark, again, appreciate you jumping in here and filling in for Jack Wharton, who is out of town. But many thanks to Sienna on the camera, Blake on the sideline, and Mark. Any parting words here before we sign off?
Well, let's just get to the next week.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next week. These two are behind us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
all
again,
right.
for
Thank
Mark
you
Edwards,
very much.
For Mark Edwards, Steve Anthony saying so long for Grapevine Ford Field. Your final tonight. Liberty Christian Warriors 56, your Grapevine Faith Lions 3. We'll see you next week. JV game Thursday night at home against Fort Worth Christian, and the varsity, again, Friday night will be at Fort Worth Christian. Kickoff at 7 p.m. We'll look for you next week. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Thanks for listening in here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network.